Hello, everybody. Luke Woodley, CEO, Walnut Tree Health and Wellbeing. And, like I say, many of you know that, but it's always nice to have an introduction for the new people who are following us. You catch me having a cheeky latte. I'm not even sure what that picture is. Rather, oh no, it's advertising holiday homes. So grab yourself a takeaway coffee and come down here, and I'm on board Kazmar. And so I had planned to take Kazmar out for a run today. Excuse me, but the vicious cold snap seems to have flattened the batteries, and here's the proof. There you go. She's not starting. Not a major issue, we'll get those batteries ripped out. I'm probably just going to replace them, to be honest. I'm not going to pee about trying to charge them because of a cold snap has damaged them. It was only a week ago that the boat was run. It's probably worth replacing rather than recharging. What was I saying? Kazmar, here we are on board, and just doing a bit of work and a little bit of light maintenance to make those adaptations that we want to make Kazmar really suitable for what we want to use it for. So, what are we going to do? Well, I've long thought that for some people, doing their mental health treatment through activities was going to be better for them, and there's many groups of which this may benefit. And I'm working on using the cognitive behavioral therapy model intertwined with activities. And so, let me just give you an example of how that would work, for example. So, those people who often sort of overstretch and set themselves big expectations, aiming very, very high, and then become a little bit disillusioned when they don't reach that point and it impacts on them, well, if you're on board Kazmar here, you cannot steer in a straight line. It's not that simple from A to B. So you know roughly where you want to be, but often you're going to have to steer off because Kazmar here, as she steams through the sea, is going to be affected by wind and tide. And so that's going to push her off course. And so we have to compensate for that. And so, again, very much like life, we have to compensate by managing our expectations. Of course, it's great to have ambitions and set our goals, but we must also be realistic and understand that sometimes we may fall short of those for whatever reason. But that's okay as long as we continue to try. Another area might be, we're okay here at the moment actually because we're tied up to a floating pontoon. But if I was to nip across here on Lake Lothing and let's just say more up on the concrete wall over there, and then we have to make some more changes in life. So those people who are prone to very black and white thinking and don't see any sort of grey areas in life, where again sort of that little bit of flex comes in. If they're thinking very black and white, we can use the example of mooring Kazmar on that wall. If you're thinking black and white, you're either thinking without allowing for anything to come in that may alter your expectations. It's either yes or no, and that's it. There's no difference. So, we can start to explain that by leaving the warps slack to allow for a tidal drop is your grey area, if you like. So imagine low tide, as your white area, and high tide as your black area. Well, everything else in the middle, that's your grey area, and of course tidal flow changes, and so does your grey area, and so you're going to have to allow for that. So every day that grey area, if you continue to moor Kazmar up on that warp, will be slightly different, and you're going to have to allow some slack in those warps to compensate. And so see how the CBT model can be used alongside learning to manage Kazmar here, and but also an ability to work in groups and build people's self-esteem and confidence, leadership skills, and truly equip them for being able to manage better day to day. We're very lucky at the Walnut Tree because obviously we've got some great people that we can call upon, former police officers and former military personnel who are highly confident and capable individuals who are trained in training people. And so can pass on those knowledge and help build their confidence, self-esteem. and leadership skills, which again is going to help battle things like anxiety. So many opportunities here on Kazmar. What are the adaptions all about? Well, not everybody is going to want to set to C. C is not everybody's thing. So one of the other things you want to do is some inland water exploring, and so we're going to make some adaptations here to Kazmar so that we can do that. Kazmar is a very flexible boat. It's a very shallow draft, and so we'll sit nicely on a riverbed when she bottoms out flat, no problem. Nice ability to have. So she gives us a lot of flexibility in what we want to do. So we can do some inland water exploring, and we can also go to sea. I would like to see some other activities on Kazmar too. So I would like an opportunity for people to come out and maybe do some art on Kazmar. And when I say art, I don't necessarily mean painting. I mean all sorts of opportunities, some photography if that's what they were into, some sketching, painting. The idea being that obviously our art therapist Caroline has some fantastic results with people through art therapy, and it might just be nice to give people an opportunity to use art and artistic forms as a hobby to help maintain their health. And so again, Kazmar is a great platform to do that from. And for the more adventurous, then we're thinking about using Kazmar as a floating base, and getting some kayaks, and allowing people to paddle upriver, and Kazmar will come along as a supply vessel, and they can camp out overnight and come back again the next day or over the weekend or whatever it happens to be, to allow them the opportunity to explore and build their confidence through adventure. Again, building in the CBT model into everything that we do, to help take people from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, to help them kickstart recovery and learn all about what recovery is, and so that they too can learn to manage symptoms of mental health alongside life and spend more time being well than unwell. And if they do become unwell, then hopefully we'll be able to manage and not become so unwell as they did before, and get back to day-to-day life sooner. And that's all about what recovery is. And so that's a brief outline. So I've got my overalls on, so it's not a cue to be standing around here gassing. It's a cue to be getting on and doing some work. Guys, if you want to join me on Kazmar doing some work, I really would appreciate the help. Some of you have already volunteered and come forward, but we've got plenty to do, and so there's plenty of space for people to come along. Message below and let me know you're interested, and we'll get you on the list and let you know when the working parties are, and you can come on down here to Haven Marina in Lowestoft, join us on Kazmar, and who knows, we may even get the kettle on and the bacon sandwich. But if you're interested, then please do comment below, and we'll put you on the work party list and keep you updated as to when we're doing stuff. And it'd be great to have you here as part of the team, getting Kazmar ready for what's going to be a very, very exciting 2020. So until then, take care and goodbye.